Creativity and community are absolutely vital in challenging times. Welcome to Syncreate, a show where we explore the intersections between creativity, psychology, and spirituality. We believe everyone has the capacity to create. Our goal is to demystify the process and expand the boundaries of what it means to be creative. We talk with visionaries and change makers and everyday creatives working in a wide range of fields and media, from the arts to science, technology, and business. We aim to illuminate the creative process from imagination to innovation and everything in between. I'm Melinda Rothouse, and I help individuals and organizations bring their dreams and visions to life.
I'm Charlotte Gullick, and I'm a writer, educator, and writing coach. We are the co-authors of a book on the creative process, also called Syncreate. At Syncreate, we're here to support your creative endeavors. If you have an idea for a project or a new venture and you're not sure how to get it off the ground, find us at syncreate.org. Our book, now available in both print and audiobook format, walks you through the stages of the creative process so you can take action on your creative goals. We offer resources, creative process tools, and coaching to help you bring your work to the world, including our monthly creativity coaching group. We'd be delighted for you to join us. We'd also love to hear your feedback on the show. Please drop us a line at info@syncreate.org. We're looking for feedback on how we can improve the show, what's resonating for you, and what future topics you'd like us to cover. Welcome back, everyone, to the Syncreate podcast, where we like to talk about so many things with creativity at the heart. And this is one of our Creative Spark episodes. So it's short and sweet and just full of so much richness.
Yes.
And today's topic, I think it's fascinating because we wanted to talk about health, humor, and creativity, right? Kind of that combo. And I mean, as you have been known to say, we are all creative, and I believe this to be true. And kind of what we want to talk about today is highlighting how our creativity is such an essential part of our self-care and a tool in the toolkit when you're going through medical challenges. So we're going to reveal some down and dirty stories today.
All right, let's get to it.
So as Melinda knows, I'm dealing with something right now, heart related. I'm not quite sure what's going on. And it kind of sucks because I have less energy and my get up and go has gone up and went without me. And so one, it makes me really grateful for all the times I feel well. So thinking about that. And then someone said to me recently, "Do you think it's because you're stressed?" And I was like, "My heart is beating too slow for me to be stressed." And they thought I was not even an option.
I can't even rev up to stress. Yeah.
I can't rev up to stress. And so, or maybe there's a lesson here, like maybe I just need to be more chill more of the time.
Yeah.
I got a ton of stories here, but I know that you have a good one too, about this, and
Yeah.
the role of levity.
Even at the end of life. So I may have mentioned this story in an earlier episode, but I just lost an earring. It just went flying. Oh, well. There we go.
Okay.
It's fine. I'll just carry on. So my mom passed away on November 1st of last year after, she had some chronic health problems and including kidney failure. And she was, basically ready to go. And we had talked about it. Thankfully, my mom was very open about her wishes and she was not afraid of death. And she was a retired physician. So I went over to see her when she was kind of, I guess, in retrospect, beginning her dying process. It was about 5 days or so before she actually passed. But she was starting to have these like really intense tremors. And she had some tremors already, but this was like intense shaking that she could not control. And, just being her daughter and having grown up with her and always asking her medical related questions because she knew a lot of answers to them, I was like, what's happening right now? Like, almost like as a doctor, like, is this part of your, like, kidney failure or what's happening? She goes, I don't know. I've never died before. Which is like kind of shocking and
Right.
hilarious at the same time, and so my mom, you know,
Yeah.
so her
Yeah.
personality. Um,
It's
so
and so true, right?
and so true. Right. At least not in this
Um,
lifetime.
on this um, did you both laugh?
Yeah. I mean, I was like there was laughter and tears that night. That was like our sort of our moment of closure, you know?
I think it's that's making me think about, just the role of creativity, when we cycle out of this life and, that role, and maybe that's a whole nother topic. It makes me think about, my dad died of kidney failure too as a secondary cause of colon cancer. And he'd had a colostomy bag for quite a few years. And this is about 4 weeks before he died. And I wanted to know his experience, not in like a, oh, like I want to get gross details, but like I want to offer you the space to talk about your experiences because I don't think we give those spaces enough. And
Yeah.
part of that has to be like our comfort level with our own mortality.
And our own
Um,
bodily functions.
right, exactly.
I
Exactly.
mean,
The things we don't talk about.
yeah.
Uh, And I mean, helping my dad, I was very informed by Zen hospice and kind of,
Yeah.
being mindful and present with someone. And so he had a colostomy bag, and my dad was a very working class man. And I was thinking about his experiences, and I just said, Dad, do you ever miss taking a shit? And he said, thank God somebody asked me. And then we talked about, you know,
Right? One of the
and
one
also
of the
like,
great pleasures of life, right?
he's like, power, sense of control, relief, like all these things he was grieving, but he didn't necessarily have a space. And I think it's my creativity and also bluntness that I learned from him.
Totally.
Um, and also thinking about audience. Like he's not, I don't think my father ever said bowel movement in his life.
Right.
Right. So,
Right.
like, what are the terms that he would use?
Yeah.
And meeting people where they are, I think that's also part of the creative process. So it was hilarious, and I'm so glad that I asked. I mean, he'd had that bag for 2 years, and no one had asked him what that
Right.
experience was like.
Right. It makes me
Yeah,
think
but
about just I feel like my sister and I evolved from a young age this gallows humor just to cope with life. And you know, some things that most people probably would not find funny at all. We were able to find humor in our situation. Whatever it was, just little quips or sarcasm or just like seeing the humor and the absurdity in certain situations growing up. It helps you get through.
it helps you get through. It totally does. And so that's making me think of another story with my mom when she was in the hospital last year. And there was a certain doctor that had made a lot of mistakes in her case, and her situation, and I advocated for him to reconsider some stuff, and, um, his last name began with an F, and, he had a full name, but a lot of people called him just Doctor F, and my mom is very religious and very upstanding, and she just even her she's like, "Well, when that Doctor F will let me out of here." Mom. Um, just like I think that the way that humor allows us to access our creativity in really hard situations and
Yeah.
gives us a little bit of room to expand into. I love that. I love it.
Yeah.
Um, and having and humor as a way to kind of disarm difficult
Yeah,
situations
for sure.
and create connection between people in a really hard time.
Yeah. And then of course there's also like this just came up for me last night because in our charged political time, sometimes things that we think are funny might not be funny to everyone.
Mhm.
And like, how do we navigate that? Um, and I was having a text exchange with my friend Anne last night, and I was like, I'm having trouble keeping all the balls in the air. And she's like, you got big balls. And I'm like, I got big balls and I cannot lie, And I actually posted that on TikTok just because I thought it was hilarious with like an instrumental version of that song from back in the day. And then I thought, is that wrong? Like, I don't know. I thought it was funny. Anyway, who knows?
Well, it's all about context too,
exactly.
right? And also then see how it does on TikTok.
Yeah, right. What does the wider world think? Yeah.
So our pro tip for today is to think about a difficult situation and see if you can find any humor in it. And maybe it's, what if the roles were reversed? Or what if you had to mime what you needed to say? Or, like how do you... can you look at the situation, the difficult situation, through another lens, which is a creative thing? You're asking yourself to toggle into a different viewpoint and see if there's any humor in that situation. And I will venture to say that sometimes looking for the humor can also help us find the gratitude, even in really, really difficult situations. Is that kind of when we're in our experience and we're locked into our own suffering, which is legit and real, is if there's a little bit of facility with space with humor, then we might be able to say, oh, like in my case, I have access to healthcare right now.
Right.
I don't have a lot of answers yet. And I've dealt with a lot of bureaucratic frustration, but I have access to healthcare, and that kind of lights me up a little bit. So there
we go. There we have it.
There we go. Find and connect with us on YouTube and social media under Syncreate. And we're now on Patreon as well. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and leave us a review.
And again, we'd love to hear from you, so drop us a line anytime at info@syncreate.org. We'd love to hear your feedback. If you tried some of our creative sparks out and you want to let us know how it went, or have ideas for potential topics or guests you'd like us to cover. We're recording today at Record ATX Studios in Austin, with Charlotte joining us from the Hudson Valley. The podcast is produced in collaboration with Mike Osborne at 14th Street Studios here in Austin. Thanks so much for being with us, and see you next time.